Jes, aloitetaan kokous järjestöteknisellä asialla. Tää on kuvaaja paikalla, jos on kukaan, joka...
Yes, let's start the meeting. We have a photographer here. If you don't want to be photographed, please raise your hand now.
Alright. Aloitetaan kokous ajassa 17:21.
Start the meeting at 5:21 p.m.
Kokouskohtaan 2.
Moving to item 2, recording the members and deputy members of the council who are unavailable, disqualified, ineligible, resigned, and present.
Käymällä läpi listaa paikalla olevista.
Let's start by going through the list.
Kiitos puheenjohtaja.
Thank you.
Hyvää iltaa kaikille.
And good evening everyone. I'm Antti Ilmavirta,
edustajiston sihteeri.
AYYE Executive Director and the Representative Council's Secretary. Under normal circumstances, the last time you had a meeting, I had a fever of almost 40, but now I'm healthy again. But I believe my spirit was here already. Will come here at some point. No, okay. Should be coming here, probably running late. Moving on.
Mäkinen, Köngäs, Rimpioja, Elo, teiltä muita. Ei muita. Sitten sellainen tekninen huomio vielä, että kun...
And another technical note. When I mispronounce your last name, please tell me how I should pronounce it. If it goes horribly wrong. Moving on to Kem.
Saastamoinen, Kivivuori. Kiitos. Kylterirengas, Karppinen, Aho, Österman, Vierjoki, Tuomi, Sugavanam. Kiitos. Luja, Mustalahti, Santala. Kiitos. Luova, Koistinen, Kanniainen. Kiitos. Oliko vielä muita? Lipponen ja Vallo. Kiitos. Kiitos. ProArte, Chen. Kiitos. Jordi Lassenius. Kiitos. Nikula. Kiitos. Muita teiltä? Björklund. Kiitos. Muita? Sori. Aminov. Kiitos. Skisma, Ikonen, Brax, Pitkänen, Virtanen, Rautiainen. Kiitos. Vapaasti vasemmalla teiltä oli Islam. Reeman myöhässä. Kiitos. Erinomaisesti esitetty. Ollikainen. Vihreämpi Aalto. Elgeneidi. Kiitos. Saarenheimo. Kiitos. Manninen. Kiitos. Liikamaa. Kiitos. Kolho. Kiitos. Härkönen. Kiitos. Bertta. Kiitos. Våga Branders. Corner. Brukrona. Brunkrona. Brunkrona. Kiitos. Ja oliko joku, jonka nimeä ei sanottu?
Is there anyone whose name was not mentioned?
Kiitos. 43 ja 2 myöhästynyttä.
Apparently no.
Täysin määräisiä, kun myöhästyjät tulevat paikalle.
43 representatives present.
Kun merkkaillaan niitä paikalla, niin toivottavasti, että kaikilta ryhmiltä saadaan kaikki tähdet sinne, että on ajantasaisen toi Excel, kun aloitetaan kokous.
When entering this people, I hope it's up to date, the Excel, that the same people are here. Entered in the Excel.
Kylterengas on nimittänyt uuden ryhmän puheenjohtajan.
And yes, also state that Kylterengas now has a new chair and vice chair.
Veisiniemi toimii ryhmän
And
puheenjohtajana, vaikka onkin.
So it's fine that Veisiniemi acts as the chair, even though they are prevented from voting.
Ja siinä todetaan kokous päätösvaltaiseksi.
Yes, and now we can declare that the meeting has quorum.
Juurikin näin. Päätösvaltaisuus toteamiseen. Se on.
Yes, actually, now we're moving on to recording the lawfulness and quorum of the meeting. But we are lawful and have quorum, so moving on to item 4, summoning 2 minute reviewers and 2 vote counters. And we could do the same as before, that the minute reviewers will act as deputy vote counters and vice versa. Does anyone have any suggestions or any volunteers? Next year we will try to do it so that we will go through each group so that all groups have a chance to act this. But yes, we need 4 names. Yes, don't force the chair to nominate you.
Mitenkäs sieltä olisi vihreämmän aallon puolelta?
Well, how about vihreämpi aalto? There any volunteers?
Pöytäkirjan tarkastajaksi Kolho.
Kiitos.
Kolho as minute reviewer. Okay. Maybe luova.
Pöytäkirjan tarkastajaksi Kolho. Sitten
Then we need 2 vote counters.
Henry Brax.
Brax.
Elgenäri, kiitos.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Näillä pöytäkirjan tarkastajilla ja ääntenlaskijoilla toimitte toistenne varahenkilöillä.
Minute reviewers will act as deputies to the vote counters and vice versa.
If you need translation, there is a link that has been posted for, I think it's been given to you by mail, where you can join into a Zoom link where the translations are available. You need, please, if you need headphones, there are headphones available. Please go speak to the OPS representative here.
Yep. There in the corner, if you need technical help with interpretation, then they can provide you from there.
Right. For future reference, interpretation is available in each meeting. Just be aware to go get the required equipment from over there if you don't have any yourself. All right. Jatketaan näillä.
All right. So continue. We now have the ministry reviewers and vote counters closing item 4. Moving to item 5, confirming the agenda for the meeting.
Tässä vaiheessa ehdotan, että esityslistasta poiketen käsitellään ensin.
Propose that we will deviate from the agenda in a way that we will first go through item 12. Verifying the decisions made at the Representative Council Meeting 1 2024, so right after announcements. Does anyone oppose to this deviation? So this way we could verify the decisions right away, so that we will officially have the former of the board. Because otherwise it's not official. No objections. So we can confirm the agenda as the agenda for the meeting.
Ja tässä vaiheessa aloitetaan vaikka toimiston kuulumisilla.
Okay, announcements. You can have first news from the central office. So Mante, if you could please come up here.
Nyt ennen kuin annan Mantelle puheenvuoron, niin tässä
Before I give Mante the floor,
mikrofoniin kannattaa puhua.
a demonstration on how you should use the microphone
Oman äänenne
right in front of your mouth.
Sitten kaikki on hyvin.
If you can hear your voice from the speakers, then it's good.
Okay, hello everyone. Okay, hello
Everyone,
everyone. My name is
and
Mante, and
this
I'm
will
the
be in English.
AYYE board member. And recently we've been doing this, that we've presenting what has been happening in the office. So we're going to have this tonight as well. Yeah, so let's start off. When it comes to the community, there are a few projects that are kind of wrapping up. So we are still having the volunteer recruitments happening. And at the same time, there's been also the AYY's art collection, where we've had the jury and selection of the works, and there are a few upcoming events. For example, tomorrow there's the Students' Independence Day torch procession, and then there's also the refreshment day for the volunteers and village Christmas party. So you're welcome to join. Then when it comes to the housing and real estate, first of all, there's been the resident selection changes, and there have been a lot of urgent fixes within the DOMO system, application system, and also there have been also some submission of the replacement application without, not without some challenges for the members. And regarding the biggest challenge right now, it's kind of in the past, and now apartments can now be offered taking into account ARA's urgency categories. And also the past week, there's been also the residents meeting, and then there they have discussed, for example, budgets, renovation plans, and the basics of the rent determination. And also there's been also the residents elected, among other things, and members of the tenant committee and nominated resident candidates for AYY's financial board. There's also been the new property service partners, and they started the production in almost all ESPO locations as of 1st of December. Also, there was the implementation of the new practices and the active use of the maintenance book together with the new partners that started as well at the Helsinki site. And when it comes to Otokare 15, there's been preparations for the advanced negotiations with building supervision and the submission of a building permit. And there's also been the facelift project that's been carried on for Otokare 18 B and C, and it's being advanced according to its schedule without surprises so far. Yeah, when it comes to the communications, one big project that has been part of is actually the representative council elections that has now been in the past, and there's also been the volunteer recruitment campaign going on. Again, we're encouraging everyone to apply for those who are interested. And other responsibilities of communications have been focused. The results of the REPCO elections, also Fanny as the former of the board. Then we also had Thomas, who's been elected to OLL as a vice chair, Totti as SUL board member, and tonight maybe AYYE board 2024, who knows. And last, there's also been the website renewal. There's also been some statements being published, for example, on students' mental health, and we've been also photographing some of the facelift apartments. And when it comes to the advocacy, we've been celebrating some successes. So again, we've selected Aalto representative into OLL, which is Thomas, and also to SUL, which is Totti, who is not present today. But other than that, there's been also the Haloped recruitments or student representative recruitments, and the applications have been extended till this Thursday, so another great opportunity to be involved. We've been also kind of working and finalizing the policy paper and going it with the old REPCO. And also we've made an appeal regarding the safe space and safe debate that must be secured in the Aalto community. When it comes to member services, there's a pre-booking round for one-time rental facilities. They're on right now. Oopsie, I'm so sorry. Back. Okay, cool. So the calendar for the spring session bookings is open until 15th of December. No, at 15th of December. There's also the new cleaning company that has taken over the one-time rental facilities, and they've been starting at 1st of December. Again, when it comes to Securitas, they have taken over the door opening services for the one-time rental facilities. And Member Services has also a new facility assistant who will be starting on 11th of December their non-military service. And just a reminder that enrollment for spring term for 2024 is on until 5th of January 2024. When it comes to administration and IT, the maintenance service on the association's website has ended on November 30th. And also, just a note, if your association or guild has missed the change, please send a message to this email. Not gonna say it. You can still transfer the pages to another website provider, and then OTAC server will be completely shut down by June, and the pages left there will be lost. So AYYE will not archive the pages after June. And the second point, when it comes to administration and IT, that Paytrail will be the primary payment method for all facilities starting from 12th of December. And when it comes to board, again, we've been representing ourselves in various events. And first of all was the OLL General Assembly, where we elected Thomas. I think I've said it so many times already, but elected vice chair. And then we also represented ourselves in Tokyo's Masquerade. We've also been to Sul's General Assembly, where we elected Totti to Sul. And we've also been wrapping up our meeting with the Continue To Committee. And we've also been present at AYYE's annual ball, and also the TKY board has visited our office from TKY board from 23. And lastly, these are some of the topics that we've discussed in our board meetings. So we've discussed regarding the 2024 annual ball of AYYE. We've also been discussing the Students' Independence Day event that's happening tomorrow. We've also been appointing the representative from the AYYE board for the art collection jury. We've also been discussing about the plan of actions that are proposed to the REPCO. We've been also talking about the policy papers and wrapping it up. Contract with ESPO. Then we've also been accepting Tekere Assembly minutes, Tekere Symbol Group, Palestine-Israel Post, TTI board member candidate applications. Also, we've discussed about the AYYE Autumn Scholarships and Mandatum investment. On that note, I would like to thank you. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and mic will be passed on to you.
I take it there are no questions for Mante, so we can move on from your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. Jatketaan suomeksi.
And we can continue. But let's give a round of applause to Mante.
Tässä vaiheessa onko muuta ilmoitettavaa asiaa
Does anyone else have anything to announce?
Tulkitsen hiljaisuutta, että ei ole. Ja
apparently no. So I believe we can move on and close item 6. And now, as I mentioned before, let's now move on to item 12, verifying the decisions for Reps and Council Meeting 1 2024. Antti Ilmavirta, if you could please present this.
Kiitoksia puheenjohtaja.
Thank you.
Eli tosiaan niin kuin siinä esittelytekstissä kerroin, niin tässä tapahtui niin sanottu
As already mentioned, there was a bit of an accident.
Sovittiin edustajistovaalien päivämäärä ja sitten myöhemmin sovittiin uuden edustajistokokoukset ja se oli varmaan sovittu
decided or talked about when the election results will be in, and then we also talked about when the first meeting would be, but then we did not know this at the last voting day. Between the last voting day and the first Reps and Council meeting, there were only 7 days between that, so it was not technically possible to send the invitation to the meeting 7 days prior, because we didn't yet have a Reps and Council 7 days prior to the meeting. Which in essence means that the decisions made at the previous meeting are not legally binding. So that's why we thought that maybe we could just in case verify these decisions made at the previous meeting, so that there is no room for doubt that they were the right decisions that were made. You were also sent the minutes to the last meeting, and if no one has anything to comment on them, we can just say that we will verify all of those decisions now, without anyone being able to call these decisions into question later on. Okay, now if anyone has anything to comment on this issue, please do it now. But it would seem that Everyone agrees that we can verify these decisions.
Näin päätetään vahvistaa edustajien kokouksen 1/2020.
So we decided to verify the decisions made at the Representative Council meeting 1/2024 according to Appendix 12.
Suljetaan kohta 12, siirrytään kohtaan
Closing item 12, moving to item 7, selecting the auditor for 2024.
Kivimäki.
Here we have Kivimäki presenting.
Mikrofoni siitä.
Mikrofoni on siellä ja kalvot ilmestyvät aivan pian. Hetkinen.
No niin, mä
Okay.
Eli iltaa, hyvä edustajisto. Mä oon Monika Kivimäki.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Monika Kivimäki, the Chief Finance Officer at AYYE.
Ensi vuodelle.
And I'll be presenting this item.
Eli tilintarkastusyhteisö valitaan vuosittain ja edustajisto.
We choose the auditor, the auditing company, every year.
Ja minkä takia valinta tehdään, niin meillä
And the
on
reason we
lakisääteinen
do this
velvollisuus,
is that we have a legal obligation to do so, to audit our operations according to the Auditing Act.
Ylioppilaskunnan tilintarkastaja niin valitaan myös meidän tytäryhtiöille.
And when you decide on this auditing company for the student union, at the same time you will also choose the auditor for the AYYE group. We're quite an extensive organization. We're taking both of these into account and also taking all our funds into account that we have. The goal with this is to make sure that the consolidated financial statements and the financial statements of special purpose vehicles, that is for the AYYE group, so that once they have been prepared correctly, we can give you a true and fair view of our current status and finances.
Vähän en mennyt näitä järjestyksessä, niin eli tässä näkyy historia ylioppilaskunnan.
Here you can see the history of our auditing companies for AYYE. KPMG has acted as the auditor for the majority of the years. We had 4 tendering processes in total back when AYYE was founded. We elected KPMG. In 2011, we made a new tender where we selected Ernst & Young for a few years.
Palattiin valitsemaan KPMG.
And we have the tendering process again in 2016. And then we selected KPMG once again. And then we also have to select who is the actual auditor. Heidi Vierros did that for KPMG until 2019. And Kirsi Aromäki did this from 2020 to 2022.
Tarkastamassa ylioppilaskuntaa.
Kirsi has also acted as not as the main auditor, but has also been auditing operations before 2020 as well.
Kilpailutus tehtiin taas viime talvena.
Then we did another tendering this year's winter. It was quite a long time before the last one.
Viime talvena, kun kilpailutus tehtiin, niin päätettiin.
And last year when we did this, we decided to propose KPMG again to the Representative Council.
Ja tässä on ollut meidän keskeiset kriteerit.
Here we have the key criteria for selecting the auditor. So it's important that we have an auditing team that has extensive experience and knowledge of both the association sector, but also about real estate, and that they're also familiar with student unions. Also have a lot of investments and funds with special characteristics that are quite different from other entities' funds. It's also important that the auditor has tax expertise and also these references. But now, since we have a long-term partner, these references are not that much of a priority anymore, since we're already familiar with them. But yes, to put it simply, we are now proposing the Reps and Council that we would select KPMG Limited as the student union's auditing firm for 2024, which is our current auditing firm as well. Thank you. So we will now select KPMG as our auditing company for 2024. If you don't want to comment, you can, if you agree, you can raise the blue note there. The red one if you disagree. But yes, we will elect KPMG Limited as our auditing company for 2024. Closing item 7. Moving to item 8. Appointing the chair of the board and the board for 2024. We have the former of the board presenting this item, also presenting the composition of the board. And it should have at least 6 and a maximum of 10 members. The AYYE board. And now, Fanny, you can present your composition.
Mahtavaa. Kiva nähdä kaikkia taas täällä näin.
Wonderful. It's nice to see all of you.
Tai mahtavaa nähdä porukkaa ja
wonderful to see so many of you here.
Itselleni jännittävä osuus, kun esittelen teille.
I've been very nervous about this. I will present to you my composition for the board that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. Hopefully many of you have already seen this proposal via the mailing list, but here I will give you a bit more details on that.
No niin, vähän lähtötietoja.
Okay, so some background information.
15 hakijaa oli ja
we had 15 applicants. Oh, now I'm wondering, do we have 14 or 15? Oh, no. In any case, 2 dropped out of the race. 1 entered the process later. I was already informing the groups. I have informed, hopefully you've heard about it. We have had a bit of a special situation. We didn't have anyone who wanted in, and after a few days that the recruitment ended, we had one individual. We tried to sort things out, and all groups were okay that they could be included. So they were. The applicants had individual interviews by me. We had a group task and a panel that was also available for your perusal. Based on this, I got a pretty comprehensive picture for all applicants. And very good items. And in addition, I told to the group chairs that ask in the groups if you have any ideas regarding the applications. Do you have any comments? I got some comments. Thank you for those. And in addition, I also discussed at the office with our employees that what kind of needs would you have for next year. Got some feedback, especially regarding board tasks. So good info on that part as well. About my presentation, we have representation from all schools and arts. Several people have probably focused that we are kind of lacking the business students. I recognize this.
En kuitenkaan usko, että se tulee olemaan este.
I don't believe that it will be a problem.
Tieteiden opiskelijat nyt jotenkin jäisivät
That
täysin ulkopuolelle kaikesta,
they would be
vaan
totally left out
uskon, että esimerkiksi
everything, but rather by having good communications with the KY board. On Kyltärirengas.
Pidettyä kauppiksen puolen opiskelijoita myös hyvin.
We can keep the business school individuals and students in the loop in all activities and decision making that we are undertaking. Also, as a point, we have 2 representatives, or actually applicants, with the background in Teknologföreningen, which is quite nice.
Edustajahallituksessa on ollut käsittääkseni vuonna 2020.
I think last time we had a representative from 2020, so this is very nice. About the division, we have this kind of assumed gender division, which is 4 female and 6 men, assumed genders, starting from 3rd year to 7th year.
No siinä on vähän listattuna näitä valintaperusteita.
So appointment principles listed.
Aika tämmöisiä niin kuin hyvinkin perustavanlaatuisia asioita.
Very basic level things. I personally perceive that this assumption of our joint, like what I've mentioned, I feel that it's very important that strengthening the community is a big theme and some sort of touch to our whole package and on what AYYE is. Motivation, vision, enthusiasm towards the tasks are very important factors.
Löytyy siitä
all kinds of good criteria on listed.
No niin, nyt sitten tulikin jo 2, mulla piti olla aina 1 kerrallaan tulla näkyviin.
Should have one by one. So about the proposal.
Eli tämmöinen uusi salkku tai oikeastaan
this kind of new
uusi, eli kansallinen
task, or well, old new task, or international advocacy, national advocacy, in this case, has been here before, but trying this out, we're kind of bringing it back because it gives a sort of freedom in the advocacy team to grasp various kinds of projects and current themes. I feel that it would be a good place to try it out. Concerns educational policy, but also is open in advocacy in general. 2 communications tasks based on the fact that we have our operational program dockets, and it would be nice to have a board member on board. We've only had 1 board member in the communication, so it would be actually nice to have 2, so you can actually have somebody to plot things with. So let's try kind of this style out. Let's see how it pans out. And as a 3rd point, we have 2 equality tasks. Correspondences, we have a lot there in the equality document. Updating. And out of the applicants, we got very much the sense that there was lots of skill and willingness to do it. So let's task 2 individuals with this task so we can actually get things rolling. And my suggestions kind of balance each other out very nicely. So we have international points, already experience of this project, and new points of view as well. So both should come in handy. Here is everyone with faces. Oh, maybe see all of these. Here in the room, you can see the individuals, some known to you, some new people. Looking good, in my opinion. Let's go through team by team these divisions on how do they divide into AYYE office teams. We also work with teams, but I'd say that rather than to go through these teams, that I rather just state like, here's this person and blah blah blah.
sektori, niin
So first on the leadership team, me, then Mante as the vice chair, and with strategy update we have Leevi joining in. That would be our steering group or leadership team, as it were. Next up, services team with Olli and Veeti. With these kinds of focuses, I can join the services team.
tiimissä onkin sit useampi
For advocacy, we have several individuals, but we have lots of important tasks.
Ja löytyy koulutuspolitiikkaa ja
we have educational policy, we have social policy, sustainable development, and our international advocacy, equality, internationality, all important points to consider for 4 individuals for that team. And note that several people are in several teams, so it's quite normal. Then we have the community team. We have Olli, Saku, Tessa, and Leevi. Volunteers, community organizations, alumni, new students, and corporate relations.
Muutama tiimi jäljellä.
Then we have a few teams left. Our communications duo being Veeti and Leevi. Sorry if my translations are a bit wonky or hard to understand. The idea here is that Leevi would be focusing on communications in general, and Veeti would be doing more on the web page project. So we can get 2 individuals there.
Kiinteistöt, talous ja kampus.
On the real estate, finance and campus duo, Joona and Veeti.
Semmosta.
Looking like that.
Siinä on mun esitys. Nyt.
That's my proposal. Now you may ask questions if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Yes. Tässä vaiheessa voitaisiin ottaa
Thank you. At this stage we could maybe take one volunteer
mahdollisesta uudesta hallituksesta jakamaan mikkiä.
out of the possible upcoming board to share the microphone.
Vaikka sieltä. Yes. Ei ole väliä, mutta joku
No matter on how you do it, but
joka voi jakaa mikkiä, kiitos.
somebody who is here who can pass the mic when needs be.
Ja kun
All
vastaatte
right.
kysymystä, niin
When you answer or ask a question, please state your surname and your group.
Yes, Ollikainen vapaasti vasemmalla. Kysymys koskee tätä koulutuspolitiikkaa.
So Ollikainen about educational policy and the sharing of tasks. I noticed that we have this national advocacy, but earlier national advocacy and educational policy has been done with the educational policy briefcase or task. Is this something that will change? And how do we ensure that the educational policy sector has enough resources, because we truly have a lot of stuff to do there?
Joo, hyvä kysymys.
That's an excellent question.
Se on totta kai tärkeä pointti.
It is of course important that we have a lot of important things that we do there. I discussed with Totti about their tasks, what they've done.
Sitä kautta, että
Also felt that Totti has had quite a broader scope, these individual things. Maybe this kind of term could help to broaden Aalto and ours activities, but I wouldn't believe that there's a danger that things would be left undone. That the mobility enables the fact that we can focus on current topics, but educational policy is the first priority here.
Yes. No, otetaan uudestaan siitä Ollikaiselta.
Kiitos. Ollikainen vapaasti.
Question from Ollikainen.
Sitten toinen kysymys liittyen.
Second question about well-being, we have a kind of a well-being task which is focused on mental health and such. Would it be included in the social policy portfolio from here on out? Because it wasn't mentioned here. Yes, good question. So in this stage, I actually had discussions with Totti that how do we actually do with this and what does this well-being task actually mean? That we've actually spent some time thinking what it means with Totti, and what we decided was that it goes with social policy. That's what I discussed with Totti, that we didn't feel that it would be essential to market there.
Se kattaa niin kuin ehkä useampaa tyyppiä siellä vaikuttamisen tiimissä. Niin
touches several individuals in the advocacy team, but for clarity's sake, we thought we will leave it without a specific focus. It will be included there. It won't disappear into the night.
Hetki sillä, että jos joku haluaa vielä miettiä kysymystä.
We still have opportunities for questions if you have questions.
Tulkitsen, että kenelläkään ei ainakaan ole mitään enää.
That nobody has questions anymore, so
päättää kysymysten kanssa.
We can move to
Kiitos esittelystä.
Questions. Thank you for the presentation, Fanny. And we can decide whether or not we will approve Fanny's proposal for the board.
Hyvin pitkälti ajateltu tätä prosessia ja itse luotan.
It's well thought out, and I personally trust that this is a good proposal. I suggest that we approve
tämän muodon hallituksella 2024.
Form for 2024.
Yes. All right. Näillä puheilla edustajista päätti.
There are no other requests. The representative council decided to name 2024 board according to the proposal on the agenda.
Tässä vaiheessa
at this stage, I suggest a short 5-minute break, and the new board will take some pictures. And otherwise, you can utilize the 5-minute break. Be here back in the room at 6:08.
Yes, hallitus otti kuvia vähän pidempään kuin 5 minuuttia, se ei haittaa meitä. Mutta tässä vaiheessa huomaako joku, että...
Oh yes, we spent a bit over 5 minutes in the pictures, but that's okay. Nobody was on the hallway, so...
Hiljaisuutta, että ketään enää puutu. Jatketaan.
I interpret the silence saying that everybody is here. We will continue the meeting at 15:14.
Siirrytään kohtaan...
Moving to item 10.
Valiokuntien perustaminen. Tosiaan säännöstä...
Setting up the representative council of committees. Within the regs that...
Ja edustajiston kokouksessa 1/2024 päätettiin, että...
Representative council can set up committees. We decided in the previous meeting that we will set up 3 committees. Those being the Financial Real Estate Committee, Community Committee, and AYYE, aka Advocacy Committee. At this stage, we can go through each and every group and hear who they are proposing for the members for these committees.
Jos luvallanne puheenjohtaja saan käsittelyjärjestyksestä.
Okay, with you, we can actually diverge from the agenda so that first, if we could actually, if the representative council has views on whether or not we should actually set up other committees or that these wouldn't be something you actually want to set up, if this is something that the template is that the agenda is that each group that has original members would have the opportunity to actually have the right to appoint one member, one deputy member, and the individual who is the chair for the committee would be the committee proper member, not the deputy. Is this anything anybody wants to state? If it's something that with chairperson's permission we can handle first. Yes.
Jos on
that we do just that. Do you have any comments pertaining to the subject matter? Please bring out your comments right now. We ensured in the previous meeting that... Oh yes, we have a speaker. Have the individual in question to pass the mic.
Malkamäki, Aallon kokoomus.
Malkamäki from Aalto Coalition. In this previous meeting proposed, was it
oltaisiin vielä yksi erillinen toimikunta.
We would have a specific separate committee, but we feel it's okay that that one committee would take the SYL regulation update, and we feel it's okay. It's with AYYE. Next up, Ollikainen.
Ollikainen vapaasti vasemmalla. Tämmöinen selventävä kysymys.
Clarifying question regarding original and deputy members. Do each, both proper and deputy member, have a right of residence, but is it that so that the proper member has the right of voting? What's the practical difference? Vantti could answer this. I think that regulations don't take a comment on this actually. We can handle it the best way the representative council sees fit. My interpretation being that you would be the willingness that the actual and standing member could have the same member, or both could have all the materials and be present in meetings. If that's something you wish to do, if there are no objections, I don't see, or actually I can't think of a technical reason why we couldn't do this. This is what I have interpreted as well. You can participate and be present, but officially you need to have one individual and one deputy member. Any other comments?
All right.
Okay. No other comments.
Kun käydään näitä asioita läpi, niin jos joku haluaa vielä esittää jonkun...
Go through these issues. There's also the opportunity to ask questions later.
Yes. Eli tosiaan...
Yes. So,
siirrytään hetki.
Let's move.
Joo.
Yes.
Sillä tavalla, että
Let's do so that if you have candidates for the chairperson, let's go through those first, starting with the Financial Real Estate Committee. Do we have any candidates for the chairpersonship for this committee? We have one. Can you state your name for the microphone?
Saadaan pöytäkirjaan.
Get it to the minutes as well.
Tiihonen, Aallon kokoomus. En itse
coalitions. I'm not setting myself as a candidate from our group. Joel Vanhanen would be interested in applying for the chairpersonship of AYYE. No, actually, not AYYE. Financial Real Estate Committee, apologies. Are they available? Do we have any other candidates? No competition, it seems. They are available. With these grounds, we can then name Joel Vanhanen as the chair of the Financial and Real Estate Committee of the Aalto coalition.
Yes. Sitten yhteisövaliokunta.
Yes, the community committee is next, handled the same way. We have candidates for the chairpersonship.
Yes, Ilmavirta.
Puheenjohtaja
edustajista
listalle vihreämmästä Aallosta.
From the Aalto Marcel Virta was earlier interested. If you are still interested.
Yes, Berta, vihreämpi Aalto. Yes, I would like to express my interest in becoming the chair for the community committee.
Okay. Yes, tulkitsen, että muita ehdokkaita ei ole. Ja voidaan täten myös päättää, että yksimielisesti, että yhteisvaliokuntaa tulee puheenjohtamaan Marcel Berta.
Marcel Berta in the community committee.
Yes, viimeisenä käsitellään vaikuttamisen valiokunta. Ja tähän oli ilmeisesti myös kokoomukselta.
Lastly we will look at AYYE.
Kiitos puheenjohtaja. Rimpio ja Aallon kokoomus ja olen käytettävissä tähän tehtävään puheenjohtaja.
Rimpio Aalto coalition, I am available.
Tulkitsen, että muita ehdokkaita ei ole, jolloin voidaan nimittää
no other candidates, so we can name
Rimpioja puheenjohtajaksi vaikuttamiseen valiokuntaan.
Rimpio as the chair.
All right. Sitten voidaan siirtyä täyttämään valiokunnat ja tätä varten pyydän sitten järjestyksessä.
Then we can fulfill the committees and I will ask all groups they can propose members for the committees.
Työjärjestystekninen lisäys. Mikäli teiltä jää paikkoja tyhjäksi,
you have spots that are left unfulfilled, you may fulfill them later.
Kyseisen valiokunnan puheenjohtajalle sekä minulle ja Sakarille asiasta.
Chairperson.
Siinä meidän päätösesityksessä, että valiokunnat voivat täydentää itseään, niin se tarkoittaa käytännössä.
The committees can fulfill their members on their own reconnaissance.
Kokoustekninen kysymys ensin täältä. Ja sitten otetaan sieltä vihreämmältä alta.
Olisiko mahdollista saada nämä puheenjohtajien nimet?
Would it be possible to get these names of the chair people somewhere?
Pieni hetki.
Saarenheimo, Vihreämpi Aalto. Meillä oli kysymys tuosta
Saarenheimo, Greener, Aalto,
näistä nimityksistä,
Vihreämpi
että
Aalto.
meillä on
Now about the nominations, now that we have a chairperson in our group, does the chairperson need to be a proper member in this community committee, or can you be a deputy member?
Teknisesti näkisin, että
Technically, I would say that
silloin lähtökohtaisesti on se
they are
ryhmässä,
a proper member. So.
ellei edustajisten puheenjohtaja tulkitse käsittelytapaa jollain toisella tavalla.
Chairperson doesn't see differently.
Lähtökohtaisesti puheenjohtaja on aina paikalla kokouksessa.
In with yes, the chairperson needs to be present, so it would be better that they're a proper member.
Muita selventäviä kysymyksiä? Jes, saadaan kohta sinne ylös kaikki nämä. Taitakin olla. Oikein hyvä. Jes. No niin. Alright, elikkä Aallon kokoomukselta onkin varsinainen
Okay, so from the Aalto coalition we have an actual proper member.
varajäsenelle.
You have a standing member, a deputy.
Jes, kokoomus.
Yes.
Jes, tosiaan Tiihonen Aallon kokoomus varajäseneksi talous- ja kiinteistövaliokuntaan
Tiihonen.
Perttu Antikainen.
Perttu Antikainen asti Financial Real Estate Committee.
Kylterirenkaalta.
Next from Kylterirengas.
Joo, eli Karppinen ja Kylterirengas. Meillä olisi varsinaiseksi jäseneksi
Kylterirengas.
Rasmus Räsänen.
Rasmus Räsänen asti speaker.
Ja varajäseneksi Otsa.
And as the deputy member, Otsa Lammi.
Yes. Kem.
Okay. Kem.
Kivivuori Cem. Meillä on varsinaisena
Kivivuori Cem as our proper member, Teemu Vuorela.
Ja varajäsenenä
And deputy member, Otso Kivivuori.
Yes, tässä vaiheessa kysymys Ollikaiselta. Vai? Ei mitään. Ilmeisesti.
Did Ollikainen have a question? Okay, no.
Joo. Okei. Joo, Santala, Luja.
Okay. Santala from Luja. A regular member will be Poutanen Lumikki. And Santala Senia will be the deputy.
Luova.
And Luova.
Yes, Vallo Luova ja varsinaisena jäsenenä meillä
regular member Sasko Kolehmainen and Jonas Häkli will be our deputy member for the committee. Proarte.
Lukas Proarte ja jäsen on Elmo Nikula ja
Elmo Nikula as regular member and Henrik Björklund as the deputy member.
Yes, seuraavaksi Skismalta.
Yes, and Skisma next.
Yes, Pitkänen ja Skisma ja meillä Takiva.
Pitkänen from Skisma. For us, Laura Rautiainen will be our regular member and Vilma Ikola will be the deputy for the Finance and Real Estate Committee.
Kiitos Ollikainen vapaasti vasemmalla. Jäsen.
Thank you Ollikainen from vapaasti vasemmalla. Sini Saarni, just regular.
Ja Vihreän Aallon edustajalta.
The deputy, the interpreter apologize, did not catch the name.
Our proper member will be Werneri Suomela.
Sorry, have to check the correct pronunciation for the vapaasti vasemmalla candidates.
Yes, I have to check the correct pronunciation for the vapaasti vasemmalla candidate. And writing it down.
I will fill in the rest.
All right, please continue.
Yes, so our proper member is Werneri Suomela and our deputy member is Maria Välilä.
Maria Välilä is the deputy and Werneri Suomela is the regular member.
All right. Voga.
Voga.
Corner Voga tuohon talous- ja kiinteistövaliokuntaan täytämme paikkamme myöhemmin.
For the Financial and Real Estate Committee, we will fill our seat at a later date. Okay, then please contact Vanhanen, the committee's chair, for that. Yes. And now we have decided on the competition for the Finance and Real Estate Committee, and we can move on. We can move on to the Community Committee. And here's the same order as for the previous committee. We'll go through the groups. So Aallon kokoomus first.
Aallon kokoomus Tiihonen. Meillä yhteistyövaliokuntaan osallistuisivat varsinaisena jäsenenä Mikael Sundqvist.
So Mikael Sundqvist is our regular member, and Jenny Toivonen is our deputy member for the Community Committee. Thank you, and Kem next.
No niin. Malinen Kem, ja meiltä olisi tosiaan varsinaisena jäsenenä Juha Malinen ja varajäsenenä
Juha Malinen will be a regular member, and Niko Sastamoinen the deputy member.
Kyltärengas.
Yes, eli
Kyltärengas. Karppinen from Kyltärengas. Our regular member for the Advisory Committee will be Toni Niemi. And AYYE will be our deputy member.
Tarkistan kirjoitusasun myöhemmin oikeaksi.
Yes, I'll check that I have that written it down correctly a bit later.
Luja, Santala.
And Luja. Yes, our regular member will be Santala Senia, and Poutanen Lumikki the deputy.
Kiitos. Sitten Luova.
Thank you. Luova next.
Yes, Vallo Luova, varsinainen meiltä Aino Tornivaara ja varalla.
Aino Tornivaara will be a regular, and Aatu Jäntti will be our deputy member for this committee. And Pro Arte next.
Jäsen on minä, Lukas Jordi.
Me, Lukas Jordi, who will be a regular member. And Aminov will be our deputy member.
Sitten Skismalta.
Okay, and Skisma.
Skismalta niin varsinaisena Julia Virtanen ja varajäsen.
Julia Virtanen will be a regular member. And Elina Stolberg as our deputy. Vapaasti vasemmalla.
Kiitos jäsen Sanove Rehman.
Thank you. Sanove Rehman. Regular, and Mikael Kallinen our deputy member. Thank you. Vihreämpi Aalto.
Jäsen Marcel Berta.
Regular member.
Ja varajäsen Alli Kolho.
Varajäsen Berta and deputy Alli Kolho.
Viimeisenä Voga.
Voga.
Yes, Corner Voga yhteisövaliokuntaan.
Committee, regular member Kasimir Ruohomaa and deputy member Petter Corner.
Saatiin yhteisvaliokunta täytettyä. Ja
okay, now we have the composition also for the community committee.
Marcel Bertan puheenjohtamana tämä kokoonpano ensi vuoden.
And will be chaired by Marcel Berta.
Edelleen pahoittelut, korjaan väärinkirjoitut nimet oikein sitten. Kun...
Once again, I will correct if I have, if I have entered any of your names incorrectly, I will correct them a bit later. Okay, then we have the advocacy committee. Let's start with Aallon kokoomus again.
Meiltä Neten lisäksi varajäsen olisi Ohto Mäkinen.
Ohto Mäkinen will be our deputy.
Okay.
Thank you, Kem.
Kivivuohi Kem meiltä varsinaisena jäsenenä.
Regular member Anna Savola.
Ja varajäsenenä Nora
deputy member.
Kyltärenkalta.
Kahanpää.
Karppinen ja Kylterirengas. Meiltä varsinaisena jäsenenä olisi
Jenni Lehtinen.
Varajäsenenä
Vilhelmiina Vierjoki. Vilhelmiina Vierjoki.
Lujan edustaja.
Thank you. And Luja.
Joo, Santala, Luja. Meillä on varsinaisen jäsenenä Törrönen Ilkka ja varalla Akseli Paajanen.
Törrönen Ilkka, regular member, Akseli Paajanen, deputy member. Luova.
Vallo Luova ja meiltähän varsinainen Teemu Kanniainen ja vara Laura.
Teemu Kanniainen, regular, and Laura Vallo will be our deputy.
Ja Proarte.
Joo, Lukas Proarte ja jäsen on Lu Chen. Ja
Lu Chen, regular member.
On Lukas Jordi.
And deputy member Lukas Jordi.
Pitkänen ja Skisma ja meiltä varsinaisena jäsenenä Elias Pitkänen. Ja
Skisma, Elias Pitkänen, regular, Niina Ikonen, deputy.
Vapaasti vasemmalla.
Vapaasti vasemmalla Ollikainen, jäsen Juno Suvijoki ja vara
Juno Suvijoki, regular member. Vero Ollikainen, deputy member.
Ja vihreämmältä Aalto.
Vihreämpi Aalto.
Vihreämpi Aalto. Meiltä varsinaisena Leivi Härkönen ja
Leivi Härkönen will be regular member.
Malvikko.
Lassi Malvikko, deputy.
Ja vielä viimeisenä Vogelt.
Voga.
Korneerok Voga varsinaiseksi jäseneksi vaikuttamisen valiokuntaan Susanne Erlund ja varsinaiseksi Petter Korneer.
Deputy Petter Korneer.
Ehdotan, että
vaikuttamisen
valiokunta on tällä kokoonpanolla Netterin.
The Advocacy Committee has decided on the composition as well, chaired by Netterimpi.
Ja olkoon se niin? Yes. Sitten päästäänkin päättämään kohta 10 ja
Then we can close item 10 and move to item 11, electing the vice chairs for the Representing Council for 2024. According to the regulations, those eligible as chairs or vice chairs of the council are all members of the student union. And when electing the vice chairs, we will be using the transferable vote method.
Tässä vaiheessa,
which is described in more details in detail in section 22 of our regulations. Now, do we still have the vote counters present and available?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, hienoa. Yes, ja meillä on ymmärrykseni mukaan vain 2 ehdokasta. Nyt on vielä mahdollisuus asettua.
The way I see it, we only have 2 candidates. You still have time if you want to run as a candidate. Now's the time. But it would seem we have no one new who wants to run. So, please ask our candidates to come forward.
Perttu Antikainen ja Toni Niemi.
Yes, Perttu Antikainen ja Toni Niemi. Yes.
Perttu Antikainen and Toni Niemi.
Tehdään niin, koska vaaleja ei tässä varmaan tule olemaan, niin voitte lyhyesti esitellä itsenne ja edustusluoma.
Probably won't be an election since there are only 2 candidates, so you can just shortly introduce yourselves, and then the representatives can ask you questions if they have them.
Perttu, olen pahoillani, esityksesi on jostain syystä korruptoitunut.
I apologize, Perttu, your presentation has become corrupted for some reason.
Yes.
Yes, it's a bit of a jumble.
Perttu, voit esitellä itsesi, minkä jälkeen Toni voi myös sen jälkeen esitellä itsensä. Ja toivottavasti ilman kokonaisvaltaisia kalvoja.
Arvoisa edustajisto, suurehdestä ei tarvitse tuntea mun nimi on Perttu Antikainen.
Most of you probably know me, I'm Perttu Antikainen, 4th-year student of business. So been active in our organization. I'm applying as the vice chair for the representative council because I want to improve the communication between the office and the representative council. I've also noticed in the financial committee that my friends in the representative council may not always be up to date what's going on with AYYE that they're actually deciding on. And I believe that my experience as kind of a pretty neutral outsider expert, I believe I would be very suitable as the vice chair. I also have experience in not taking a stand myself politically, but rather just process the issues in an objective manner. I've also been a volunteer at KY in technical issues, maintaining the services, and saw the decision making at AYYE when being a member of the Financial Real Estate Committee. And now I'll give the floor to Toni. Thank you. I'm Toni Niemi, 60-year master's student, also studying business. I did my bachelor's thesis in Mikkeli, and this year I've been also a member of the AYYE board. But in addition, I've also been active in this community in other ways. For example, in my subject organization for a few years now, different roles. And also being a member of different associations or active in those associations. What else? I think that's enough for now.
Kiitos Toni ja kiitos Perttu. Tässä vaiheessa
Thank you, Toni ja Perttu. Now, if you have any questions for the candidates, first and second vice chair, shall we have the vote after all?
Tässä vaiheessa no, voidaan vaikka Antilta ottaa tähän selvennys itselläkin.
Maybe Antti, if you could clarify. Yes, well, technically, in our regulations, we state that we need to elect first vice chair and second vice chair. Normally, the representative council would vote, and the one who gets more votes would be the first chair, vice chair, and who has the lesser amount of votes will be the second vice chair. But we actually had a discussion with the candidates, and they were ready that if there are no other candidates, they would be ready for an arrangement where Antikainen would be the first vice chair and Antikainen the second. So then we wouldn't need to vote. If you want to disagree, now is the time. But it would seem that the representative council is pretty unanimous that we don't have to vote, if that's okay with the candidates.
Vasemmalla. Mahtavaa, että haette, vaikka edustajistotyöskentely onkin
It's great that you are applying for this, even though it may be a bit of an ungrateful job. The representative council members may not even get to know each other. So I'd like to ask you, are you willing to invest in the forming of kind of a team forming of the representative council or some recreational activities for the representative council? Will we, for example, have any after parties this year after the meetings? Thank you for the question. As I wrote down in my application, I would like to see how to kind of uphold this activity. One of the ways would be to have also an after party after the representative council meetings. I remember a year ago when I was an active member of the representative council, I usually attended the after parties and really liked them. So I would be in favor of this. Yes, I think it is a very important issue, especially when looking at the activity of the previous representative council when it was difficult to even get quorum. So one of our tools that we can use. Yes, we could use this to make this work more meaningful for people. Thank you. Any other questions? Amanda.
Thank you for your presentations. One thing that I would like to address, because this year we have more non-Finnish speakers in our representative council, how will you ensure that non-Finnish speakers, and that also includes both English speakers and Swedish speakers, that they're able to fully participate in the representative council?
I guess the most important things, or should I answer in Finnish? Wait. Does it matter?
Free to answer in English. Yeah.
So I guess the most important thing is that we have all the materials available well ahead in time from the office, and they are translated, and everyone has time to look into them, and of course be able to comment on them before the actual representative council meeting. And then we have the interpretation facilities and all those available as well. I guess that's my main answer, is to improve the availability of the process documents we are processing here.
Yes, I also have a very similar answer. Ensure that all the documents that the board and the office sends to the representative council are translated, and also that the translation services also work. And of course, just the general vibe is that it's accessible and open to everyone.
Thank you, Mante. Otetaan seuraavaksi Brax.
Next up, we'll take Brax.
Yes, Brax Skisma.
Brax from Skisma. You both reiterated how it's important that material is available well beforehand, but still, if we're thinking about this hypothetical situation that a document for a reason from one place to another hasn't arrived in time, what would you, in coalition with the chairpersonships of the Representative Council, what can you do that this material that is not ready, we could maybe get it somehow?
Joo, tämä on yksi sellainen asia.
Yes, well, this is a question which I've found myself pondering. I've been here in a few years. Has been a problem. Me and I think the rest of the chairpersons would go and ask the board, the office, and demand that we would get the material on time.
Joo, mulla on aika samantyyppinen vastaus tähän.
Yes, I have kind of the quite same thing that is kind of a similar issue.
Mitä puheenjohtajasta pystyy varmaan tekemään on olemaan.
What the Representative Council chair can do and what we can do is be active towards the office and keep up communication, ensure that all the material is submitted on time, follow up on emails, etc. Reactively and fast.
Kysytään sitten, jos on näyttää epävarmalta.
So basically ask if things look unsure.
Kiitos. Vaikka asia ei tavallaan minulle kuulukaan.
Thank you. Now that kind of not my business, but it kind of is my business. So
vastuu on myös pitkälle edustajastosihteerillä, eli
the responsibility is with the secretary of the Representative Council, and we have actually been thinking with chairperson that
edustajaston vuosikellon tuomista myös teille.
Kind of a yearly clock, bringing it to you earlier, looking what we have to actually handle, taking that into account.
Viime hetkessä niin ainakin se edellinen drafti tulisi aikaisemmin nähtäväksi, että olisi edes.
Things would be late. We'd actually have some sort of draft early on out. The problem is something we have realized at the office, and it's been actuated. It's a good point.
Sitten voidaan ottaa vielä mun puolesta vaikka enintään.
We can also take the top 3 questions.
Tulkitsen, että enää ei ole kysymyksiä.
Interpret that there are no further questions for our candidates. I would say that we can move to decide.
All right.
So, with these words, I propose that the Repco chooses the vice chair as Perttu Antikainen and second vice chair Toni Niemi.
Päätettäneen. Päätetty.
Decided.
Ja tässä vaiheessa pyytäisin, että ensimmäisen varapuheenjohtajan
at this stage I would ask that
vastuukseen jäällä mikkivuoroja täällä.
First vice chair would hand out requests to the floor. Would you feel like that could be prudent?
Ilmavirta.
Jotta ei aivan tyhjäksi jäisi, niin haluan omasta ja AYYE-toimiston puolesta hyvää itsenäisyyspäivää.
Empty, I would like to
koko
give everybody a good
ensi vuonna sitten lähdetään
Independence Day, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and let's be active next year with full speed ahead. Thank you, Antti. Good addition to this meeting. And it's totally meta.
Uskoisin, että voimme päättää kohdan.
I'd say that with this we can end item 12, close item 12 and move on to close item 13 and move on to item 14, ending the meeting at 10 minutes to 7 p.m. 18:50.
Kiitos. Ja. Esin. Kiitos edustajistolle, ne jotka...
Thank you to the representative council. Also wish thanks on the part of the interpreters as well.